Detailing text. Text is always drawn in the views. You never draw text on a sheet. Now here's the trick. While you're on a sheet, you can activate a view and then you're drawing text correctly inside a view, but still you have the context of the sheet around. Let me illustrate. Let's click on this particular view right here, and we're going to activate the view. We've been doing that for a while now. Now, just for our own purposes, let's turn off the visibility of the crop region, and that's found right here under Hide Crop Region. We don't want to say do not crop. We want it cropped still. We just want to hide the crop region. So now we get a feel for how much space we have. Let's use the text tool. Where's that found? Go to Annotate. You'll find text right in here under the text portion, and you can just click on the text tool and start writing. By default, we have a 1/4 inch Arial. Maybe we'll try a 3/32 Arial and see how that one works out. Before you draw, I still have not clicked on the screen. Before you draw, you can click just text alone, so no leader, or you can choose text but with the leader, and that's something you have to draw first, and then you can decide on how the leaders attach depending on your drafting format. Plus, you have 2 segment leaders. You also have arc leaders or curved leaders. Let's click on the 2 segments, and I'm going to just click there as 1 point. That's the start of the arrow. I could go straight up if I wanted to, and then click and over, and then I can start typing. So I could call this let's go with all caps right now, prefab skylight. And we could say to be installed according to manufacturer's specifications. Now that's just sort of going off the page. I'm just going to hit enter, and that'll take it to the next line. But if I just leave that and I let it go and I click, notice what happens. It puts the text just sort of in one long line. You can click on that though, and then you can just drag the shape handles of the text and see how that's coming together like that. Okay, now you may look at that and say, I don't really like the way that that's laid out. I can click on it, I can move the text up, the leader will go with it. You can also click and change the format of the arrows. So maybe I want it to go from the top right, and I want the text to be oriented, and let's just go back here to the right. So perhaps that's the way you like to show it. But you have the options right there to change that if you'd like. Okay, what about the text itself? Well, the text is a style, and it includes the leader in that style. If I click on the text, you'll see this is 3/32 Arial. As we've been doing throughout the course, this is a family, just like a wall type, floor type. You can click Edit Type in the properties, duplicate, and I could call this one perhaps Notes 1. And then you can change things about it. So maybe I want to change this to something like a stylus. Change the size if you want, the tab size. You can change the width factor. Maybe you want it a little bit more scrunched, as they say. So I could apply that and just say OK. And then you can see the way that the writing is. Now I can click on that again. You notice that's Notes 1. We still have one which is called 3/32 Arial. That's intact, but we have one called Notes 1 as well. Now we can click on that. We can edit the type and choose other things about it too, like the leader arrowhead. Perhaps we want it to be a 15-degree filled, and you'll notice that changes. The other thing is we can show a border. You won't see that until I take my mouse and click somewhere else. It leaves a border on there. So some people like to show that for certain notes. Okay, we can also just say don't show the border. The other thing is this distance here, it's 5/64. Maybe we want to put it at 1/16. And you'll see it gets a little bit tighter to the text. The background is opaque, that's a default. So if I were to drag this text over top of something, you see how it blocks out whatever it's on top of. And that tends to be a good option. I like to leave it like that myself, just in case it's going over some other objects. The text should always be what's clear. You want to keep it well away from other objects if you can, but that's a good thing to do. Okay. Let's click on this again, and there are some other options in here I'd like to show. You can add more. See, I've added more leaders if you want, or you can go in and take them away. So I can say just remove that. Okay, of course you have all the other tools, like you can bold up letters, you can bold up words, you can underline, italicize. That's all available to you. You also have some spelling, so I can click on spelling. Now it checked it. Now I might put something in there, just spell that wrong. And if we go to tools and then spelling, it'll go out and it'll find that manufacturer's. Double click and change that out. So it has a full spelling check. There also is a nice tool here if you go and perhaps you have spelled something consistently wrong. Or let me copy this text and I'll just bring it over here and then I'll hit escape. Perhaps you don't like prefab the way with a dash, you just want it all one word. You can use a tool called find and replace. So if I go to annotate, which I'm there, and then we go to text and find and replace, you could find prefab. You could also look under entire project. So this is just in the view. This is in every view. You can match the case and so on. So if I just change that to prefab and I can say find next, and then it gives you some nice context. It tells you what view it's found in. Very, very well developed tool. We can just say replace all, and then now where that occurred, it's been changed. Okay, I like the dash. I'm going to undo that. So I'm going to click and just delete that piece of text. So you'll notice when you click on the text, you get your own ribbon here, and all of the tools that are in Annotate are also in this part of the Modify Text Notes. Same as if you're in Annotate, you have all of the text tools that you need there as well. Good, so we've made our own text style. We've written some text, changed the leaders. Let's just do a zoom extents. We can get out of that view as well. Let's just right click, deactivate the view, and we'll save what we've done so far.